If you're an author that is looking to create more content as well as earn a little bit more money in the process, then you've come to the right place, because today's guest is one of my actual personal favorites. His name is Roberto Blake. I've learned a lot from Roberto in online business as well as in video content creation. He's been somewhat of a mentor, indirectly speaking. He and I have actually crossed paths numerous times at video conferences where we sit down and we've actually had a couple of chats and such. So I was elated when I found out that actually he put out a book, and now this has already almost been a year, Create Something Awesome. Roberto actually put a little bit more of his life experience into this, and you'll find him fascinating when we sit down for this interview. And you'll notice that this interview is a little longer than normal, but that's the thing, is when you sit down with Roberto, there's never a short conversation nor a dull conversation. He gives a lot of very good information, and one of the qualms that I've heard some people say, well, it must be easy for a YouTuber to launch a book. Well, he actually addresses that. And also we address the issue of diversifying your revenue sources. So without any further ado, let's get into the interview with Roberto Blake. You know, this has been a long time in the making, man. To have you here on this podcast is kind of like one of those bucket list type situations, man.
Oh, wow, really? Thanks so much for having me, Dale.
Yeah, it's high time we brought you on here. And I do want to chat about your publications, because you actually haven't just published one book. You actually did like an ebook years prior. What got you into that?
Well, that was my test sample, and I wanted to just like learn the process with something very simple and straightforward. So I don't really consider that to be the first book. This one's the real book. This one's like, that one was like, I think, the equivalent of like 20, 30 pages at best. I've even considered pushing an update to that and like making it something just even a little bit more robust, and but because people do still thankfully grab it for 99 cents and read it, or use Amazon Kindle Reader, or what is it? Kindle Unlimited. Yeah, Kindle Unlimited to read it. So yeah, no, I mean, that was just something to learn the process and to play with my chops in Adobe InDesign a little bit.
Nice. Yeah, see, I saw that a long time ago, and I know you had mentioned to me you were planning on publishing something. And then when I went to go do some digging, I saw you had this other ebook, and I'm like, wait, this dude's already done some of this stuff before, which isn't surprising because you're fairly prolific across the board. So let's talk a little bit about Create Something Awesome, your first official publication and such.
Yes.
You launched this over the past year. What was that process like in developing this book and launching it?
Oh, Lord. I basically, during the last quarter of the pandemic, the last quarter, well, maybe not last quarter of the pandemic, but last quarter of like 2021, I basically sat down every day for 100 days and wrote 500 words. So that was like the process for getting to a first draft of the book, was 100 days of writing. I think you were following what I was doing on Twitter. I was actually updating my audience on Twitter and letting them know how many words I wrote today, how many words I wrote for the week, how far am I into the word count for the book. And it was a way to hold myself accountable. It was a way to document the process, and I really, really enjoyed it. So, so that was great. And then after that, I did some test reads with a few friends, gave them access to my Google Doc. I ended up adding about three or four different chapters to the book because of feedback from them and things in the creator experience that I wanted to tackle for content creators. And I wanted to round out a couple of chapters around the mental health experience of being a content creator. So it ended up having 4 or 5 mental health chapters out of the 20 core chapters of the book, which I thought was really important. A lot of people said that they liked that the book gave, one, some of my own backstory, but also really solid actionable advice for creators. But they felt like me telling my story made things a little bit more relatable. The fact that I gave anecdotes about creators that they'd be familiar with, that they don't know a lot of the background on, and about their humble beginnings, and then my industry insider perspective, which is actually why I ended up making this book the first in a series, and then I decided to publish this, make it an Amazon series. And so the series is called the Creator Economy Insider Series, which I also rebranded my newsletter to be the Creator Economy Insider. So Smart. That ended up being wildly practical for me, and it lets me dominate the keywords for the creator economy. It's in the book title. It just all seemed to fit together. So I went through all that, hired River Chow as my editor. My worst review on Amazon claims I should have hired an editor. I'm like, I literally hired an editor. Her name is credited for her work in Amazon right there when you click on it. So it's not even a factual negative like review. I feel like she did a good job. The book is like over 40,000 words. Sure, there are a few things here or there. I've never seen a book with no errors go to publication. I still managed to find errors in Lord of the Rings to this day. So I like if it's good enough for Tolkien, right? But I am actually planning at some point some kind of like revised edition, at least for sure a push on some more revisions with a second editor to give it a passover for the ebook, because that's an easy update to do. Get with my designer. I actually hired my designer through a referral of yours, Dale.
Marco.
Yes, I hired Marco. Highly recommend. Great experience. So I'm just gonna kind of go back to him with an updated version for some support. Hopefully it's an easy gig for him. If I have to pay a support fee, I'll do it. But really excited about that. The audiobook I'm hoping to do by the time we're at Vid Summit together.
Oh, nice.
So the idea would be that I get like basically do a second printing, slightly revised edition by Vid Summit, have the audio book version out by Vid Summit. I'm already 20,000 words into the second book.
Nice. That's about halfway through?
Yeah, roughly, yeah.
Sweet. Now, are you doing your own audiobook? Because you have all of the right equipment for it.
That's why I'm doing my own audiobook. When my audience expects it from me, I know they'll be delighted with that. I expect that there will be no less than 2,000 people who get the audio version. In the last 6 months or so, the between the print book and the ebook sold independently, mostly through Amazon, but I also did Ingram Spark, Google Books. I've done over plus my own sales, like using Amazon as my printer and selling by hand and always keeping a stocked supply for events. And then doing those sales with Square, just swipe the card or tap the card. Done over 2,500 copies as a self-published author. I didn't push as aggressively to my YouTube audience as I probably should have, especially on pre-orders. I did very well on the pre-orders. So that's going to change in my plans for approaching the second book with some guidance from you on hey, what should I do or whatever. I think I did really well considering most first self-published authors never sell 100 copies of their book ever. I think I might be in the 1% here at 2,500 copies. Over 100 reviews. I think almost 90 of them are 5-star reviews at this point. So, or is it 100 something ratings, 120 something ratings, 60 positive reviews, I believe. So, I mean, I think it's going well.
What would you attribute your success then if you didn't really push too hard on that launch? Because that's a significant amount. As you said, there's a lot of people that wish they could have 2,500 for their entire catalog over their lifetime.
I think I pre-sold through the Kindle ebook because I didn't have the print version ready yet. Me and Marco were still struggling on that a little bit. On the ebook version, I think I pre-sold 400 of them. I think that was largely through Twitter, maybe my community tab in YouTube. So that, I think, played a significant role as far as the pre-order. So that's nice that just have oh wow, so that's some real support right there. 400 pre-orders and on something that doesn't exist yet. And then we did really well within the first 3 months. I think we hit 1,000 orders in the first 3 months, something like that. I had the print book ready a month later after the ebook. I had it for People of Video that we attended in New York together. Had it just in time for that. I would attribute a lot of it to the fact that I had been talking about it, sharing the process, hyping it up on Twitter, talking about it, and that I had readers in that audience that would read a book. I think most people really honestly though have been waiting for the audiobook because I think that's what'll have the most significant. I think it'll be 2,000 to 5,000 people for the audiobook out of my audience. I think within the first year, first 6 months, something like that, because I just think so much of my audience loves audiobooks. And I do love, though, how many people wanted a physical book from me and wanted to have that on their shelf and be proud of it. Every time I go to an event, people take selfies with me with the book. So that's always very flattering, very comforting. So I would attribute a lot of that success, believe it or not. I think Twitter has become a writer's paradise.
It really is. Now, there's going to probably be some people, and I think you know this, because this is the land of YouTube. There's always some snarky comment. This is awful nice for Roberto because he's got the following. So what type of actionable advice would you give to those that don't have as large a following as yours to get that type of results that you did?
Well, the thing is, everything is improved by building a following. So first of all, instead of giving them advice that is like, oh, well, you could do this without following, maybe they can, maybe they can't. That is dependent on a number of things we can talk about. But my advice to them would be take all the free content that I've produced, buy my book, and build an audience. And I'm not being facetious. I'm serious because everything that I've ever done, to a large degree, Dale, has come down to a very interesting flywheel. Talent, traffic, trust, transaction. It's a really great flywheel for success.
Yeah.
I take whatever talents I have, I commodify that into something that could then drive traffic, aka through content. That ends up building trust and authority, and then that makes it much easier for people to do a transaction with me. And it's this virtuous cycle because that transaction is also then a part of the proof of my work for showing what my talents are. So again, it's this really great flywheel for success. And so it's talent. What is your talent? What is your ability? Okay, articulate and commodify that into a form of content, whether that's the written word, podcasting, whether that's video or audio, live streaming, or recorded video content on YouTube, Instagram, or TikTok. And so you go ahead and do that. You commodify it into a platform, you drive traffic to that platform, you build a community of trust and authority and authenticity, and then that makes it very easy for a large portion or even 1% of those people to do a transaction with you. So I would tell people to build up content in a platform that's suited to their talents, suited to their skills, suited to their personality, where their audience avatar and their customer avatar is, and then as a result of building that up, for the way that I write on Twitter, Dale, and this is actually a really good idea for people to write on Twitter and to write on LinkedIn.
Yeah.
They were able to see me articulate my thoughts. They were able to get value from things that I had posted and written in short form. So then it was an easy sale to say, I want more of Roberto's thoughts. I want more of his thought leadership. I do care about these things that he's saying, and I want something that consolidates those thoughts. So easy sale on buying the book. So there was that aspect. If I had to do it over, though, and for the next book and everything, I would do more in terms of, one, having more copies, advanced copies to be able to send to friends in the industry that would relate to it, and to some people who can vouch for it, getting some video feedback, getting blurbs, getting some friends to maybe include me in their email list, maybe even literally putting aside a couple of grand and doing a buy-in to a really solid email list. I'd probably go with either the Published Press, Colin and Samir's publication, or our good friend Justin Moore, Creator Wizard, or both. I would go with either of those and do buy-in on that. Do a podcasting kind of tour where just call in and do 3 months of pre-orders. My new plan is 3 months of pre-orders, do call-ins on podcast, push and promote the book, get a mock-up even of the book early in my hands, just so that I can have something physical to wave on the screen when, or even if I don't have that, I'll use the first book as the stand-in and say, buy the first book, new book's on order, pre-order, get that, and just have them help me push both and use that for the pre-orders because I already have a physical product, I have proof of concept, read my first book, you'll love my second. So the push on the second book is also a boost and a relaunch for the first book. Since there's such a big release gap, having the audiobook release a year later isn't bad for me. It recycles interest in the book. And then it lets me kind of start the process of building hype for the second book, which I'll release next fall 2024. I plan to finish off the trilogy with a book in 2025. I just full steam ahead. And what I'll probably do is, because the first book will have come out in 2022, I will do an update, like a true revised version in 2025, so that the trilogy feels completely up to date and the continuity feels stronger. Again, obviously, ebook readers will obviously get that bought it like all in and everything like that. People who want the second physical the copy of the second edition, they'll have to buy the official second edition that will address like all the new YouTube monetization features that came out this week and stuff like that, so that it's not dated. It'll probably have 2 or 3 additional chapters or something added to it as well. And then the trilogy will feel like really strong. And then once that's all said and done, and then I get through the audiobook recording stuff, I'll figure out some nice collector's edition packaging or something. I don't know.
Nice. When we get disconnected here off of our interview, remind me to tell you about Vervante. That might be a situation you might want to do, especially because they have like bundles that you can put your physical books together in.
Oh, nice.
It's tremendous, but I'm really glad to see you've got such a huge plan in building out this series. And this is, I think, where a lot of indie authors need to take note of. And speaking of taking note of, there was something I learned from you, because I was a huge fan of yours prior to us even meeting for the first time. And something I learned about you was diversification. Mm-hmm. Speak on diversifying your portfolio so that way you're bringing more revenue in rather than trying to rely on one sole thing to bring in the revenue for you.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I have massive diverse revenue streams. I mean, do you want me to talk about like my overall creator business, or did you want to stay within the realm of like publishing, authorship? Where do you want to go with that?
I want to hear what you have for diversifying in general, because I think all authors need to hear this, because there's so many that just want to live by the sword and die by the sword, not realizing that there is ways that we can monetize our business.
Sure. Well, my book also funnels people to things that also have like affiliate revenue potentially off of Amazon, that go to SaaS affiliate revenue, recurring monthly recurring income through software as a service that helps them execute some of the things in the book faster, automated AI tools, which are all the rage now. But these things are to co-pilot, not to replace. And again, a lot of mine are productivity AI tools rather than purely generative things. A lot of it's automation. I use ConvertKit for my email list primarily, which now acquired SparkLoop. So that's going to be even more revenue because we can get sponsorship directly in our email list. And we have a network for getting and acquiring brand sponsorships through the email list through SparkLoop, now combined and built into ConvertKit. So like, seamless, easy sponsorship access. That's another revenue stream. If you have a really solid list and your email list is fairly affluent and you're getting over 30% open rates, now that I pruned my list, my open rates are closer to 45 to 60%.
Nice.
Is the range that I'm in. So it like medians out to about 50%. But I pruned my list. I like cut all the dead weight, all the people who are freebie and gone. I cut them down. So the email list, I have over 10,000 emails, but the ConvertKit email list is just shy of 8,000. My customer list is with Kajabi, that's not duplicate, is then bit over 2,400 for the active customer list, people who bought a product within the last 12 months. So of any well, not in the last 12 months, sorry, lifetime. In 12 months, it's a different thing because every 30 days, we're averaging 50 to 100 new customers. Now that we have some lower Tripwire products at $9, we have some $9 Tripwire products now. They're really good. But yeah, so the book can funnel to coaching and to my website and to any of my digital download products. my plan for the future books is actually to put a QR code that I can control the back end of for the future for more resources. So the thing is, that's something I've been looking at. All of my PDF presentations from now on in public will also have have QR codes in these PDFs that can then also be that funnel. So all my PDF guides and all that free content is going to do that from now on. All of my public speaking content is going to be that funnel. Public speaking can be lucrative if you do it right. If you are a bestseller in your category, which I've been a bestseller in multiple of my Amazon categories, websites and podcasting, did not get to like the top 10 in the entrepreneurship category, but for a very brief period, I was in the top 30, which is really a good accomplishment. Yeah. I think I still might be in the top 150. Maybe it just depends on what week it is. So there's things like that. Definitely was in the top 20 for internet marketing, so that was good. Right there along Daryl Eves and Sean Cannell. So if you've been number one in your category, like public speaking events, on top of having an audience and building an email list, they will pay you more. And so as a public speaker, I've gotten anything from being lowballed for free all the way up to over $5,000 plus travel and expenses all covered. So there's a lot of opportunities there. Then you get to these places and you can get one-on-one coaching clients. I usually walk away with at least 3 people who want to do individual one-on-one calls. Right now, as of the making of this video and podcast episode, my calls are about $700 for a 90-minute call with me. So I end up walking away with at least like 3 of those. A lot of times, one of those people at some point in the pipeline turns into a premium coaching client, says, hey, Roberto, I want to do 9 calls with you. Let me get your $6,000 package. Oh, can you give me any kind of small discount on it? It's like, oh, yeah, sure. Let's bump it down to $5K. Like, boom. There we go. Easy cash flow on that. I have the digital product ecosystem right now. Right now, we don't have online courses. I'm developing those. Those are going to be an easy win. I'm going to do what our friend Pat Flynn does, and then people can either buy an individual $500 course, or they could do a year-long subscription and then have access to all the courses that we have when that's available, and they can year-long that plus any new ones, but only as long they only have access to the materials as long as they renew. Buying and owning the course is, in my mind, more valuable because you get all the updates, you have the lifetime access to the resource. But if you just want to rent the access to all available resources because you really are a doer and you're going to execute on it, I got no problem with that either. That's cash flow. And if you say, I just don't want to lose access for my resources, then you roll over to a year, you become a $1,000 LTV customer, I'm good with it. So I'll take it, because you get 100 people that go 2 years, $1,000 LTV. It's $100,000 from that ecosystem of just 100 people over the course of those 2 years. That's not a bad idea. So that would be the way we go. I have a plan because we do a lot of digital download templates. We have the $99 for over 100, probably 150 templates by now in the YouTube starter kit. We have over 100 thumbnails. We got channel artwork. We got this thing. We got that thing in the YouTube starter kit. It's a $99 product, 100 templates. We're launching a podcast starter kit. We're launching a live streamer starter kit. We're actually launching an Instagram carousel starter kit with 10 templates. So then there's like 100 graphics in there, Photoshop files for you. So like we're doing that. We're also selling some of these things a la carte now. I have the brand deal starter kit for $99, but we put multiple media kit templates in there for people to pitch and promote to brands. You're going to make your money back on that thing just because you're going to get like, these brand deals, and it's going to be hundreds or thousands of dollars per brand deal. So you're going to make it back over the course of your career. You're going to also have a better idea of what the red flags are for working with these brands. Oh, could I find some of this content for free? Yes, but you can't get for free. You can't get the templates. These are custom design templates. You can't get those for free. The other thing is we put together a master list in that starter kit of over 100 brands that work with influencers. We put together a lot of detailed information. Even if you could start to find some of this stuff for free, the amount of time you would waste, the only way you save money is if you're already only making less than minimum wage for the time we'll waste. If you value your time, the only way it's worth your time to try to get the same stuff for free is working less than minimum wage, because you will waste that much time. It's that unproductive. So we put together this ecosystem, and I'm building out more. I like what Chris Do is doing. I like what Pat Flynn is doing. With all of our download templates, my plan by next year is to build what we call the Creator Vault. And the Creator Vault, we've already started developing it. We'll give you access to the digital download templates, just not the courses, but it'll give you access to digital download templates, PDF workflows, just a lot of the like very much doer resources versus the learner resources. We're only going to do that at $12 a month, or they can pay $89 for the year, or I think we're going to have something like they can pay like $299 for the lifetime and access to that and to all other templates that we release, plus some exclusive ones they can't buy by buying the products a la carte. So we're going to do that. We're going to bundle a couple of these 99 download templates together where it's basically buy two, get one. We're going to have these options because then those simple single transactions give us all this cash flow. We have two products that are $9.99 right now. We're expanding that. We're going to have a third product probably within another month. That's a $9.99 product. Right now, that's our AI creator prompts. That's over 200 productivity creator prompts for ChatGPT for content creators. And right now we have 50 prompts for Midjourney to help you generate really good graphical assets in Midjourney. And one of the things that we did that I feel like is really good, really smart about that is I actually made these, I wrote these prompts myself and I actually use a lot of these myself. We specifically also made some for people who use green screen to generate green screen environments, static green screen environments as far as renders, so they could have their, realistic rendered green screen office for their YouTube videos, because green screen is becoming a big deal in content creation right now. A lot more creators are expanding into that. You've seen me do it. And so it looks really good. So we have that.
So it's making its comeback. I know that it was like originally when I first started in the business in 2016, everybody was kind of not doing green screen. So I was like, well,
because they were doing it so poorly. They were doing it so poorly. It was so bad. But now we have such really good tools for it, and it's become more affordable. And the software is getting so good at it.
Yeah.
Eventually, with the green screen stuff, I'm gonna be able to make a Roberto clone. I'm gonna be able to make a deepfake clone at this point. Like,
nice.
Yeah,
you could just sleep while your clone does the work.
I will probably figure some variant out of it. It's mostly going to be a stand-in for like when I get sick and stuff, and I still need to do something. Yeah. So like send in the clone. So that's kind of like we've been doing some stuff with that. We have another product. It's called the Creator Starter Pack. The Creator Starter Pack gives you a bunch of graphical assets. It's not as robust as the starter kit, but it borrows a little bit of this. It's a variety pack that borrows a little bit from all of our starter kits. And puts it into the Creator Starter Pack, and that's $9.99. Right now, you get over 30 assets in that, so it's already underpriced. It'll probably be 50 assets when we're done, so it's a little bit of this, a little bit of that. Dramatically underpriced. Warms people up to the, oh, maybe I'll buy that $99 product, or oh, maybe I'll buy it when it's on sale on coupon or something, or oh, maybe I'll buy the bundle because I've gotten so much value out of this $99 thing. Oh yeah, just give me everything. Or maybe I'll sign up for the Creator Vault. So it's a really good potential upsell there. We have Awesome Creator Academy, the Pro Group membership. You get access to me and Andy Rivera. She's my amazing operations manager, my co-instructor, all-around girl Friday. She's like tremendous. She's like massive help. At this point, it'd be really hard to do it without her. At some point, we're going to be adding at least one more instructor to this. But me and Andy do live office hours for an hour to 90 minutes twice a week, Tuesdays and Thursdays, 6 p.m. Eastern. And so Academy members pay monthly for the Pro Group, and they get access to us in office hours live those 2 days a week. But they also get access to us for the Facebook private group and to the rest of their cohort community throughout the week. We try to encourage just Monday through Friday, and then either take the weekend off or be a weekend warrior. So we kind of like do that. The dream goal is eventually to have at least 2 more instructors, and then we either go Monday through Thursday with office hours. Maybe we even have like a different opportunity schedule for people with different time zones or something like that between us. If we have 4 instructors, I want to get someone who's much more into YouTube entertainment niche, even though I can cover YouTube entertainment as well as education / edutainment. And then I'd also, once I get a full-time video editor, I want my video editor to be a co-instructor in the academy. I want my video editor to sell some courses on their own expertise. Andy is building out the Canva for Creators course because she's a designer, just like I had that design background. I'm Adobe, she's Canva, but we make it work. And so The Canva for Creators course is for people. One, there's 100 templates in there, custom made. And then there's all this stuff to help people to become an intermediate to advanced Canva user for their graphics and branding and so on and so forth. So it's a great lifetime resource. So that's one of the first courses we're releasing. And that's Andy's course. That's her baby. I do a revenue share with her. She gets the lion's share.
Nice.
I get a decent cut.
Let me interrupt you real quick here, Roberto. Yeah. Man, I asked about diversifying, and you definitely showed everybody exactly what I was talking about. And hopefully a lot of people got a lot of information here. I do have to kind of wrap up our podcast, but I have to finish up on one note that I ask every one of my guests, and I know that you're the perfect person to say this and answer this.
And I'm happy to come again and answer all your questions, because I know I rambled on.
No, it's A-okay. And this is one of the reasons why I love your stuff, because you've really greased the creative wheels for me. And I think that's a great segue into everybody should pick up a copy of Create Something Awesome today. I definitely wholeheartedly endorse your book. So my question would be, what advice do you have for aspiring authors and self-publishers?
Oh, absolutely. I've got some great advice for this. Build an ecosystem for yourself. Everything I was describing is because I've spent years, Dale, as you know, building a layered ecosystem for my brand to allow me to participate in multiple arenas. So as an author, I think your foundation is, okay, look at the beginning of your ecosystem: ebook, paperback, hardcover, audiobook. That's 4 SKUs already. You could also do a large print edition. That's 5 SKUs, and that's just in the regular Amazon ecosystem as it is. When you market and promote, aside from your email list because of Amazon's terms and service, use your Amazon and Audible affiliate links to get the other bonus commissions and double dip, plus get money from everything in their cart. That's still within just even the Amazon ecosystem. Use QR codes to funnel to your own ecosystem, get these people on your list, and then market to them in other ways. Grow that list, use that list to access sponsorship by growing that. Maybe you're on ConvertKit with my affiliate link, and then you get into the Spark Loop sponsorship ecosystem, and you can get brands to sponsor you. You can get a few hundred to a few $1,000 a month for your email list of your avid readers. You already have readers. Turn them into people that you have the ownership of the relationship with your newsletter, your community newsletter. Consider doing that. Consider a live active community with something possibly like a Discord server as well, to just have live interaction and bring your community together. Yes, maybe focused somewhat around what you've done, but then they can communicate with each other. And then that helps them become your marketing street team in the world and become your brand advocates. So that's incredibly powerful. Network at events. Build up people who can help promote your book, who will be prominent individuals who will publicly, with their own name and brand, give you an accredited review in Amazon. Participate in giveaways if you have the budget on Goodreads, because the goal would be having more people buy your book. Consider starting a YouTube or an Instagram or a TikTok, and you can do some big things. Some of you, what you should do is buy 100 copies of your book and then film yourself running around your local community doing these big book donations to your local library, where you donate a couple copies of your book, but also some books that you think would be really important for people to read, especially young people and everything like that. Then boom, you've got this big spectacle like video. If you have it in your budget, do a video where you give away 1,000 copies of your book to communities and people who need them, and have the big old video where it's you and you're practically buried under the 1,000 copies of your book. It's a really good YouTube thumbnail right there. I'm giving you a Mr. Beast thumbnail. So like you can do these things, and you can create attention, create hype. It creates something potentially local newsworthy. Find local news affiliates and see if there's something you can do, or tie yourself to a big event in the community and tie your book release to something local, so that you can get local news and local press, because that's a really good incentive for people to buy your book. Deal with your local community bookstores and everything like that. Diversify and go really all in here, and then look at these platforms that can elevate you, and then make sure you're capturing people who love your book and taking pictures of it and having them tag you in Instagram. Do reshares of that to Instagram stories. Show that you love your fans. Comment on their stuff and like it. You know, like if you have a big enough audience, consider even literally giving people a follow if they take a picture of themselves with your book.
You've been listening to the Self-Publishing with Dale podcast. Visit us at selfpublishingwithdale.com for more information on how you can level up your self-publishing business. Also, check out our growing video-on-demand service, chock full of free and premium content, when you head over to theselfpublishinghub.com. If you enjoyed the show, please consider leaving a review on your preferred podcasting platform. We thank you for tuning in, and we'll see you in the next episode.